Welcome back to this week's episode of the She Can Humanize Business podcast. My name is Kiani Mills.
And welcome to the Not Today Derek podcast. I'm your host, Wade Hobba. And my commitment to you has been bringing inspirational stories, and today's no different, but it's a bit of a hybrid.
I'm hijacking.
I'm hijacking your pod today, so thank you so much for having me on, Kiani.
No, that's my pleasure, and thanks for letting me hijack yours.
No, this is great.
Yeah,
this is great.
Thought we'd do something a little different.
You're not going to make me too uncomfortable, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
No, but look, I must say, first of all, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. I'm super grateful for being introduced to you and learning about the Derek program. I feel like it's such an important piece. It's at such an important time, and it's helping people that maybe once upon a time, without acknowledging Derek and allowing you to, not today, Derek, they maybe didn't have as clear of an idea of who that frickin' was, that voice coming in their shoulder, that, some say the devil sitting on your shoulder. So thank you for sharing your voice with the world. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for sharing your platform. Thank you for adding to our movement, the Not Today Derek movement.
Yeah.
So just for your audience, to get them up to date, Derek represents our shadow. So my Derek was telling me, you're not good enough. My Derek was pressing snooze on the alarm. My Derek was saying, I'm too tired and not going to gym. So once I identified what my Derek behaviours, traits and what that voice was, I externalised him and I started competing against him. I started doing the opposite. So the chain reaction was massive because it's like compound interest, yeah? Once you start competing against yourself, I think Conor McGregor says, if you compete against others, you become bitter. But if you compete against yourself, you become better. So we just stack those small wins every time. Now, even my kids notice it now. We go down the lolly aisle and they say, nah, this is the Derek aisle. Not today, Derek. I have people messaging me from all over Australia. There was a lady the other day, her washing was staring at her and she'd done all the washing, but when you got kids, I'm a single dad, that folding part? That part that gets put on the back burner a bit.
That part is called my laundry.
Yeah.
My laundry isn't for dirty washing, it's for all the clean stuff.
Yeah. So she said, when I said not today, Derek, and bang, I did it. And then we started to understand what the social impact of our movement is. Yeah, it's a quirky little catchy phrase, but the impact doesn't discriminate between man, woman, young or old. It's a universal, our Derek is universal. What does your Derek look like?
Oh, my Derek definitely tells me to press snooze.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel like my Derek, I reference to like that negative part of my ego. So for me, it's like I know that there's positive elements of my ego and I know it's here to keep me safe. But then there's this, the Derek part that's like, nah, like today, right? I got up at 3 a.m. to drive to the airport, to fly to Melbourne, to be here. And as your question was, did you sleep on the plane? I was like, I had a little nap, but no, I wanted to push through. And it was like me fighting against my Derek to say, nap, sleep, you're tired. I'm like, no, I'm not tired.
I love that you use that word ego. So for everyone listening, Kiani rock and rolls exactly like me. Unscripted, no script, haven't even had a background chat. It's straight off the cuff. And you mentioned the word ego. So Derek represents don't even know ego kills. Like that's what our acronym for Derek is.
Yeah, cool.
So we don't even know ego kills. And when he starts to slide into our life, it can be subtle, but it stacks up when we don't understand what the chain reaction, the implication and the consequences are for that. So I'll take a mum, for example, single dad. You mentioned pressing snooze on that alarm. Derek presses snooze on the alarm, all right? So I get that extra sleep, then I've got to get the kids ready. They can never find that sock.
Oh, my God.
It's always on PE day. They can't find their
rush.
PE uniform.
Yeah.
It's a mad rush, isn't it? So then we're getting them in the car. We get them to school. What's their mindset like? They've been rushed and yelled at by mum and dad. Get in the car. Hurry up. Where's your lunchbox?
Yeah.
So
Go
then,
to school with one sock.
So then their environment's completely compromised. So they're going to school flustered, anxious, and then we get every red light on the way to work. It's inevitable.
Always.
So then we're rocking up to work. Our engagement with our colleagues is off. because we're snappy. That prospective client that we're trying to chase, our engagement with them isn't the best. Then our boss turns around and says, you know what, your performance has been a bit low. And then you're like, stuff, you bloody boss, I didn't get that promotion. So then you go home, you've had a shit day at work. The kids haven't done well in their grades. Now you got to cook and you just want to completely switch off. And that's where our chain reaction starts to come, because if we're not aware of that self-awareness, that becomes our Groundhog Day and that becomes our norm. But it's just small little tweaks that we make that can create a complete different reality.
Yeah, I think you used the word compound interest.
Yeah, compound interest.
Amazing.
And it's momentum.
Yeah.
And momentum can be positive or negative. It doesn't discriminate.
Where attention goes, energy flows.
100%. The way we do the little things is the way we do everything.
Yeah, I reckon we could have a little battle off between phrases.
Little phrase off.
I know. But I think it's a really important point to make when you said before around the fact that it's men, women, young and old, because I mean, I look at my children, yes, they're teenagers and yes, they could probably sleep all day if I let them, but it starts young. You know, there is no age discrimination. There's no gender discrimination as to when that little voice kicks in. And when we start to prioritize that voice over what we know to be right and wrong.
Yeah, and it's a behaviour change program, but it all begins within. It heightens our self-awareness, so it actually empowers us to have choice, because I was just operating on autopilot. I'd come home from work and I'd go and grab for a beer, or I'd sit on the couch and just want to switch off and I'd just scroll the category of Netflix. That was my autopilot. Yeah. I didn't realise that, you know, there's something else that I could be doing. So instead of grabbing a beer, I grab a water. Instead of going to Netflix, okay, come on kids, let's go to the park. So you can actually see how that starts, that trend, the trajectory becomes completely different, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's finances, whether it's relationships. Compound interest, those wins stacked over time can create a complete different reality for us. And I don't know what your kids are like. I've got teenagers. I've got a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old. Young kids, we live in a different day and age. Everything's a little bit more personal. So where Derek has been fantastic, if he's going through hormones. If I say, mate, have you sprayed deodorant or have you cleaned your room? Bang, that's a crack at them.
Personal attack.
It's a personal attack. But I say, mate, have you been a bit of a Derek? It's not only, it's a bit jovial, but no one wants to be a Derek.
Yeah.
Straight away, bang, no, I don't want to be that. So it's not a personal attack. We laugh it off and goes, no, I don't want to be a Derek. And he goes and does the opposite.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
You're right. It is I've teenagers as well. And it is a different world. Like, there's a part of me, mind you, when I first had kids, I was like, thank God the kids are growing up in this day and age. There's so much more access. There's, you know, we had the internet, those kinds of things. Whereas now I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful that we grew up in the era that we did, because there wasn't any videos and phones and everything everywhere. The instant gratification from TikTok and Snapchat and all of those things. And then the add-on ability of communicate, or not ability because they haven't learnt how to communicate yet. But that communication misunderstanding is huge. And as you said, that kind of personal attack nature that, in my experience, all teenage children carry, it's beautiful to be able to give them a reframe where it's like, well, actually take it away from me and me being bad or wrong and have a look at the little guy that's trying to make it bad or wrong.
It's such a simple tool. When things are simple, we can be consistent with it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that. And by raising that self-awareness, like I said, by indoctrinating it into our audience, people can then identify straight away what their Derek behaviours are, what their Derek choices are. And by keeping it simple, we can constantly redirect.
Yeah, I agree. And simplicity is so important.
Yeah.
We've got enough complexity in our lives. The more simple it can be, the better. But I truly believe, and this was when I first heard about it and had a look at it, I was like, oh my God. We all know that there's the devil on the shoulder. We all know it's there. We all know that there's a little voice inside our heads. But to name it and to own it like that in itself is powerful.
And it enables us to empty out our backpack or just take, that cloak that just weighs you down, that cloak of identity. I am a person that procrastinates, bang, it becomes heavy. I'm a person that's lazy, or I'm a person that, watches Netflix, or I'm a person that drinks. That's just, when we start identifying that as me, and it just starts to eat your identity, and you start to think that about yourself. But by us creating Derek, we remove that cloak. We empty that backpack. We say, no, that's something Derek would do. I'm not doing what he's going to do. Okay, not today, Derek.
Yeah,
We do the opposite.
I love it so much.
Stacking those wins.
So talk to me about the starting of the Derek program. Now it's based around, as you are the journey of creating the Derek program.
Yeah.
Even though now we're reaching anyone and everyone anywhere. What was your journey?
Yeah. So dragging back, right? So Derek's 18 months old, but Derek was building. I've been building for 38 years, but we just don't realise, why we're heading towards something. So I've said this on a previous pod about myself. My identity was Wade the protector, right? I was, I think a key turning point for me, I was 7 and I was having a bath with my younger brother. He's 2, my sister's 4 days old, right? And my brother, he vomits Portello in the bath. We had chicken pox. So we jump out of the bath. I can still smell it, I can still smell it. And we chuck a towel on and we go out. I'm yelling out, Mum and Dad. He was sick. And Mum's on the couch making cow noises. She's mooing, right? And I thought it was funny at first. And a 7-year-old child doesn't know the sound of their mother having a massive brain hemorrhage. So my dad runs in, and my dad he's a calm human, right? And I can still see his face, I can see his eyes. And that's when I really realised that, something was up. So for the next 12 months, we're told our mum's in heaven, right? So we're raised on a roster. Aunties, uncles, family, friends. I grew up in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. Everything was local. Everyone knew everyone. So we were raised, amongst our community. And then Mum comes home one day, just looking like a zombie. I had to learn how to walk again, talk. But ever since that moment, it was indoctrinated in me to protect. And if we go to Derek now, I'm not necessarily protecting, but I'm heart-led. My motives are to help others, to be of service to others. I'm not sure if that answered your question, but that's why I'm purpose-led.
Absolutely. And that little boy that then became the oldest brother.
Yeah.
To care for siblings.
Yeah.
And navigate life.
Yeah. So, and fast forward, I became a youth justice worker. Right. It was a real pressure cooker of trauma, and my intentions were to help others. Bang! So straight away from a protector, now protecting again. So that became my vocation, my career choice, and I had a serious injury. I needed both my knees replaced, and it put me on a really tricky trajectory of I lost my purpose. Could no longer protect, could no longer provide. I was off work, and it put me down a rabbit hole of like self-worth issues, mental health, and substance abuse. I spoke once before. So they said, look, if we replace your knees today or now, your likely to become a dual amputee. Like,
How old was this?
Did you hear my knee?
Yeah,
My knee just snapped
yeah.
then. So I was 29, and so we did some less invasive surgeries, and they just wanted to stretch it out between getting like my knees replaced, try to get it going as long as we could. But the catch was, they said, "Here, we'll try you on this non-addictive opioid, right?" And it just put me down this really nasty rabbit hole. And I've spoken on this countless times. Even though that was probably my lowest point, my lessons then became my blessings.
Does it feel like that was your like rock bottom?
No, it was you know, I was really low. I was really low. But then, you know, things started to turn. The tide always turns. Tide always turns. I became financially more better off. Started a business. My relationships were all starting to track. And then my wife left me. I lost my kids. Yeah, my whole life got tipped upside down. The next day, my mate dies. And I start going back to old ways, you know. I grab a drink. I remember I went straight to the bottle shop, you know. Derek wasn't around back then.
Yeah.
I was a Derek. I didn't have the tools. My tools were to have a drink and self-isolate. My tools were to have my pity party. My tools were to point the finger and blame at everyone. My tool was to say, why me? You know, that victim mindset. And then, so they leave, mate dies, and then I just completely shut off. And then my phone rang, and I'd been estranged from my family for quite some time. And it was Dad, and I didn't want anyone knowing my bizzo, you know. I'm going through this, I just want to deal with it on my own. But I had this pull to pick up the phone. I just knew something was off. I knew something was off, and I answered the phone, and he says, you know, your sister's died. So in 72 hours, you know, it was bang, bang, bang. They say it comes in threes. And then that was my light bulb moment, because I was like, okay, I've got to do something here. Someone's, you know, my family were really hurting more than I could ever hurt.
Yeah.
I'm a dad myself. I never want to see any. The hardest thing someone has to go through is to outlive their kids. So I'm just very grateful that didn't break me. It was so fucking close.
Especially after having had the knee surgery and that, I guess, fall from grace and have kind of your safety blankets pulled out at that point, and then to be able to build them back up again and go, all right, we're good now, and then for it to all be pulled out again.
Yeah.
That's like the first dip was, I guess, would be enough for most people to fall apart and break. But you managed to get back up. And now you've gotten back up in an incredible way.
But it took, a mentor gave me Jim Rohn, The Art of Exceptional Living. And he says, what you have is what you have created by the person you have become. And that, I know I've answered in a long-winded way, but that's when Derek was born. So I go down to my little beach house and I look like Russell Crowe from A Beautiful Mind, right? And what's Jim Rohn telling me?
Yeah.
What's he telling me? How dare he say what I have is what I've created by the person I've become? But then I started mapping out the little decisions, behaviours, choices that I'd made that got me to this point, right? And I called those behaviours Derek. And I speak about empowerment. It was very empowering because I was like, far out. If I could create this reality on autopilot, imagine I consciously put thought and effort into choosing the opposite and doing it.
That gives me like full body excitement, butterflies.
Yeah.
Because that's the piece that, for me, if there was one gift I could leave in the world, it's that everybody gets that feeling, that reality, like reframed to go, I know how bad it is. I know how horrible it could possibly feel. Like a lot of people can't even conceptualize how incredible it could be, how, you know, incredible business could be, how relationships, the kids, you know, it's like that overwhelming feeling of like, wow, if I've been able to get to here running on shitty autopilot processes, procedures, outdated manuals that is my behavior, that is my Derek, imagine what I could do if I could, you know,
There's one
slay
thing,
the beast.
There's a piece of the puzzle that's missing, and it's your why, right? If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not fucking strong enough. And when I'm sitting there, and you know, I've got the photos of, you know, my kids, and I'm sitting there in a room with my grieving parents, and I'm looking at my 4-year-old and 8-year-old nephew that don't have mum anymore, right? That's when I was like, far out, Wade, you got to snap out of this. You're a grown man. You got to snap out of this. Everything's a lot bigger than you now. I had to do everything in my power and my ability to make sure that my family got through this, and that no man ever has to walk alone again.
Yeah.
Because I know how that felt. And then I started to realize I'm not unique. This isn't uncommon. There's men and women all over the country, all over the world, that are having life happen to them. So I put my program together to help people not only navigate that, but find out that life was happening for them.
And I witnessed it in real life earlier on before we started recording, and you took a phone call. And the fact that, because one of the questions I asked after that phone call was like, you know, how involved do you get with the people that reach out for support? And you're like, well, I'm there to help. And I find that so honourable, because there are a lot of organisations out there that will help on the outside, but then the minute there's someone like on their knees begging for support, like, oh, call this number or go to this, you know, support house, or it's kind of then passed on. Whereas you're like, no, we're going to catch up and have coffee. We're going to meet with this guy. He's really struggling. You know, that is the depth of the honour that you have to help people who are willing, and that we're willing to make the reach out.
It's important because since working in this space, I've met influencers and I've met organisations where their video doesn't match their audio. And it puzzles me, it bamboozles me that you're saying one thing and you're doing the other. So myself and my business partner, Joel Brown, we made a commitment. Our video always has to match our audio. If we're going to talk the talk, we're going to fucking walk the walk.
And I think that's why it was so refreshing to actually hear that and go, oh my God, that's actually real. And I might have a little bit of skepticism, because unfortunately that's the world that I've seen, where it's, you know, promising the world on social media but won't respond to a message, or, you know, a real cry for help. They're like, oh, I didn't see your message, or I didn't pick up the phone, or whatever it might be. Whereas you guys are the real deal.
It was not strong enough. It was not strong enough. Because, you know, I don't want anyone to have to walk that road alone.
Yeah.
I did it. And I wasn't going to go there, but my best mate's younger brother, so we're Fairfield boys, grew up in a really small community. My best mate's younger brother, he turned off his life support 2 days ago. And it's happening every day. You know, it's happening every day. This people walking roads alone, or moments of situational distress, he leaves behind an 18-month-old, you know. And if I'm just saying one thing and not putting the action behind it, I'm a fraud. My program's a fraud.
No, I agree. I feel like this world, and as you used the word heart-led before, it is a piece. This is why I started my podcast, about she can humanize business. And most of our conversations have nothing to do with business, but it's who we be when we step into our business. Because if who we are behind closed doors is a heart-led human, then we have more chance of stepping into a business and running a heart-led business.
Mm.
And that's the part that I always see, the fall down, like the influencers on the front screen that don't, pick up a call in the back screen. Yes, their why's not strong enough, but their heart's not leading the cause.
Yeah, and from a business front, it's very important that you get that right. Your vision, mission and purpose. Your vision, mission and purpose have to run congruently with you and your lifestyle. Otherwise you're a fraud, you're a phony.
And it will only last so long. I know when I first started my business, I started it on smoke and mirrors. While I had the clients there, and yes, I was very good at what I could do, I said yes when I shouldn't have. I said yes, I could do things when I had no freaking idea how to do them.
Mm.
And while we got it done and we made it work, I burnt out so bad, so fast.
Because you're trying to maintain this facade the whole time.
Yeah, this whole fake it till you make it thing, that was literally my whole life. I didn't know any different. I had to keep up with the Joneses somehow, but it bit me in the ass, very badly.
Yeah, because you're trying to maintain that facade.
Of course, absolutely. And I think this is where as well, I know when I've had my own struggles and when I've witnessed, I've nursed my sister through years of struggles and friends and family, that in those moments of darkness, they truly feel alone. They don't believe that there is anyone that can help them. They believe that what they're going through is so unique and that no one will understand. And that is a truth, that is a reality for them. And I'm not going to discount that at all. But I love the fact that there's organisations like yours that are coming out and sharing it and normalising that, as you said before, you're not unique. There are so many people that are going through this. I would honestly argue that there are more going through it than are not. And that breaks my heart. But it also gives me so much hope that we can create so much change in this world. And if it's as simple as someone understanding that voice you hear, that's not actually you. That's not actually your voice. That is Derek. That is Derek on your shoulder, or your ego, whichever way you want to look at it. You have a choice. You can tune out that voice, or you can do the opposite. There is a way to go through this.
Yeah, bloody oath. And I understand it's a tool, but we're trying to frame up social impact and a movement because we're humans and human experience. We seek inspiration from other people. So when someone shares "Not Today, Derek," and we pop it on, someone might get that little bit of inspiration, or through our content, through our videos, people might see. Like the other day, we were playing hopscotch. Did you see that?
I didn't.
We were doing hopscotch, but that's us. What you see on those videos is what you get with us in the 3D. So we're just trying to pop out, that inspiration to act as a circuit breaker to people. Look at these blokes, 100-odd kilos, tattooed, bloody, playing hopscotch.
I love it.
Maybe if they can do it, maybe I can get through it as well.
Yeah, and do you feel that there is, and I know that there is this unspoken expectation on men in particular, be tough, to be the provider, to go to work, do your job, shut down the emotions, turn up, be there. I would say it's an older day mentality. I'd say the generations we're in now, we're very much more encouraging men to speak out and, be a part, have emotions, those kinds of things. But I watch generationally that men carry this like an unspoken rule that we're not allowed to share our emotions. We're not allowed to, be kids and have fun. And, we're allowed to be, we have tattoos, we have to be a certain way. And, there's no labels attached to it. But I just feel that there's this additional pressure on men in particular because they've been probably raised by men, fathers who didn't talk, who didn't share, who didn't, maybe there was outbursts, but not necessarily the emotional conversations. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more complex than that. I think social media plays a massive part. Keeping up with the Joneses and watching someone's highlight reel, seeing, oh shit, such and such has gone on a holiday again for the third time this year. Look what I'm doing. I think that plays a massive part. And with the social media, it's such, I use it so to pump out my message. So it could sound contradictory, but it feeds what you seek most. The algorithm is designed to feed what you seek most. So if you're a gambler, it'll feed you all gambling content. If you're going through a breakup, every second reel will be something depressive on a breakup. So it feeds the emotion, and it feeds what you actually desire. And it's so strange. We call it reels, yeah? We call it reels. And the behaviour, the mechanism itself is almost like not almost, it's exactly like a pokie machine that's scrolling up. Yeah?
Not by accident.
And it's designed every third or fourth video. It's designed, the algorithm identifies what you are interested in, and it'll give you that spike. So it'll give you a video that you're interested in to keep you scrolling. Yeah. It's bloody crazy. So we're seeing that from a social media front, self-imposed pressure. But we're also seeing it within families and expectations. Our expectations have shifted. Have you noticed that?
Massive.
Has it shifted in your household?
Well, I'm a single mum with 2 children, so I'm very much in charge.
Yeah.
But what I'm witnessing externally, it's not something that I kind of deal with within the household, but there's been a massive paradigm shift in what is expected. And I would argue that it's what is expected on both sides of the coin.
And that expectation is now manifested. We used to be content with a white picket fence, having a house, a dog, and a couple of kids, boy and a girl. But our expectations are so much greater now. And we pursue happiness. The pursuit of happiness? Yeah. We pursue happiness. Was I happy having a 10-pack after work? Bloody oath I would. Would some people be happy going down to the sports bar and having a bag? They'd be happy. So it becomes this conflicted sort of motto, pursuing happiness. So we flip the script and we go, hang on a minute, we pursue pride. And as a man, I get my happiness and gratitude when I'm ticking that box. Am I proud to show up and go to work for my family and create a movement? Amen, I am. Am I proud that when I get home from work, I'd be happy just switching off, but instead I'm going to muster up a little bit of energy and go and shoot some hoops with the kids? You see the difference between happiness and pride?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, there's a statement that I love, and it's choose your hard.
Yeah, I was just on the phone with a gentleman before. That's the best. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Everything in life can be hard. It can be hard to leave a relationship. It can also be really hard to stay in the wrong relationship. It can be hard to have a giant business and manage 100 staff. It can really be hard to be homeless and have no money as well. There is the polar of every situation. It's, I think, individually, uniquely figuring out like what is your hard and what are you going to choose today. I know for me in my journey, that edge of being uncomfortable, that's the edge of my next breakthrough or awareness or blessing or lesson.
Yeah, and Derek makes everything hard. You're not good enough. What date does this episode air?
I have no idea. You want to pick one?
Is it sooner or later? When does it go?
We can make it soon.
Because on the 16th of November, will it go out before then?
We can make it. Let's do it. Pressure team.
Then I won't go.
Pressure team.
I won't go down this rabbit hole if it goes out before then.
Do it. Go. We're going to make it work.
Well,
We're committing.
So no one can see this before the 16th.
Yeah, perfect.
So
good. So you can't go out before the 16th. It has to go after.
Is that okay?
That's better. Because I was going to pressure these guys to get it done for me.
So we have a Derek boot camp.
Yeah, cool.
So we've got a bus. We're taking six gentlemen out, and we're doing a reset, a complete environmental mindset reset.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about choose your hard, when we're sitting in that hard, a lot of it is an illusion. They're fears.
Yeah.
So if we want to relay this back to business, pulling the fucking trigger in business and going out on a limb, right? whether it's got to do with property. How many people are too scared to pull the trigger and purchase an investment property, and then they're reading the Sunday paper and they go, Dale, do you remember that property 6 years ago? It's now bloody tripled, doubled.
Absolutely.
Or whether it's dating, for example, reaching out to someone and asking them for coffee.
Being vulnerable.
Because we're not choosing our heart, or we're sitting in that fear that Derek is telling us, that illusion. So the reason why I'm asking when this comes out, the participants don't know it, but on the 16th, they get on the bus, we take them up to Torquay, and we're throwing them out of a fucking plane.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so
I would cry and die.
Yeah, but we're saying,
it's wicked.
Hang on a minute, no, take the plunge, pull the trigger. When you're sitting up there at 10, 15,000 feet, right, your body's getting flooded with cortisol, and your mind, your Derek is telling you, I'm going to die. I can't do this. This is scary. This is the worst thing ever. Now let's switch that analogy. It's the same thing that's going on with that person that wants to start a business.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to ask that person out for a relationship. Someone who's thinking about starting a family. Their Derek is telling them all these things that are filling them and crippling them with fear. Not only does it affect your mindset, it affects your health. You've just constantly been flooded with cortisol.
And it's a ripple effect.
It affects
everyone around you as well. I think people really forget the fact that even though it's only happening in here, it's happening everywhere.
It's holistically.
Everywhere. You can tell when you meet someone who has got struggles on their mind, their energy, their body language, what their eyes are doing, whether they're concentrating, focused. Like as you used an example earlier, and I don't know if it was this cut or the last one, around that morning, pressing snooze on the alarm in the morning and that ripple effect of it going through the day and just impacting and impacting and impacting. I don't think people realize. They think they've got it under control and they think that it's just with them, but it's impacting the people around you too.
Yeah, it affects your frequency, your vibration. So we're getting them up there, and we're like, not only when you take that leap of faith, that plunge, it's not only exhilarating, it's rewarding. And when you start to do that,
hands are sweaty.
When you start to do that for yourself, it empowers you to a level where you just have so much self-belief that anything is possible.
I love it so much.
Challenge yourself, because the other end of discomfort is growth. For those people that are watching that go to the gym, from a physical perspective, we understand that if we put our muscle under enough stress and resistance, that it's going to grow. But when it comes to our mental side, we shy away from that. We want what's comfortable. We sit on the couch, we grab the beer. The other end of discomfort's growth.
And I feel like there's also the gym, we can see our body changing. Mentally, we don't have a physical radar. Sometimes it's the way we feel, waking up and not pressing snooze. Sometimes it's other people go, you're glowing, what have you done? You look fantastic. So we don't have the same kind of reference point. So I can understand for some people that it might be challenging.
But can we? Because we become what we think about. So if I'm thinking negative thoughts, do you think I'm going to go to the gym? No. Derek's telling me I'm too tired. I've got depression. I can't be bothered doing that. So we can't see that impact until we can. Relationships, I'm not going to go and catch up with them. My mindset's off. I can't be bothered. I'm going to stay home and isolate. But then what's your relationship, not only with others look like, but your relationship with yourself?
Absolutely.
That becomes a trap. So we can't see it until we do, and often that's when it's too late.
Yeah. And so what's the future look like for the Derek?
Future?
Outside of the exciting boot camp you guys
have. Yeah. The future is us just to continue to develop our movement. Impact, its social impact. Just grow it. Just make it as accessible for as many people as possible.
Yeah. And who would be your ideal kind of audience or target? Like, is it schools? Is it
Yeah, so
healthcare? Like, where are we going?
we're rolling it statewide in schools. We're rolling it in drug and alcohol rehab. We roll it out into businesses and corporations. We roll it out for individuals. It's a universal tool. And we obviously pivot and we tailor it to a specific audience, but it speaks to everyone. And that's, like, from my perspective and Joel's perspective, we couldn't be prouder of that social impact and that personal impact. We couldn't be more prouder, and that continues to drive us to keep pushing.
So
You think it's hard? Fucking oath it's hard. I'm a single dad with two kids,
choose
right?
your hard.
You know, I'm rebuilding. I lost everything in my separation. I lost everything, but I got my children. So now I'm working on this national movement. You know, I don't get much sleep. Is it hard? Bloody oath it's hard. But I get to choose my heart, and it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Yeah.
Especially for those little people, being able to watch you do that. Watch what Dad was to what he is now.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a beautiful piece in there as well. Like, as you said, this has been going for 18 months. How long ago was it that you had your kind of light bulb aha moments? When did your sister pass away?
February 8th, 2024.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So that really wasn't long ago.
Yeah.
And the change in your world alone in such a short period in time, that's enough to give anyone hope.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like, again, it comes back to a lot of people going, oh, it's going to take too long, or they're wanting a really quick fix and it doesn't work the first time, so they give up.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, no. Let's choose the hard, find the why, and take every day, like step by step.
So Joel talks about who. I always get it mixed up whether it's who or how, but
it's the same letters.
It's the same letters.
Works.
So it's willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness. You have to be willing to change. And with us blokes, especially, we learn things two ways. There's the hard way and the harder way, right? So it's not often, or it's more often than not, we have to go through something really fucking hard to be willing to change. But hopefully we're, with our audience and with your platform, we're getting to that circuit breaker a bit earlier, creating willingness. People going, hang on a minute, that resonates with me. I want to break out of this Groundhog Day. So willingness, honesty, so being honest with where I'm at. So doing an audit. It doesn't take too long to do an audit. So growing up, I used to love like FIFA, like computer games.
Yeah. I was a Mario Kart girl.
Yeah, but when you play these things, say even Mario Kart, for example, your avatar, your race car, it's got stat bars. So one of the bars might be the speed. One of the bars might be agility, turning, handling, brakes, acceleration, right? And we know what level that's on. But I was like a fart in the wind. I didn't know what my communication level was at. I didn't know what my energy was at. I didn't know when I walked into a room, how did I make people feel? Where's that on my stat bar? My health, where's that on the stat bar? I was completely oblivious to all these things. So I had to sit down and be honest and do a complete audit where I was at and create my avatar that I wanted to be. I can work towards that.
Love that so much.
And the O's for open-mindedness. Being open to try new things. We become so fixed, so closed-minded, so stubborn. Like breath work. Joel did breath work the other day and he was really reluctant. He goes, oh, what's this? These people, have you seen the 9D stuff? Like they're screaming, they're bloody yelling. He did the breath work. He goes, Wade, it's the best thing I've ever done. I said, mate, would you have done that if you didn't have open-mindedness? He goes, no, bloody oath, I wouldn't. So it's trying new things. Trial and error.
And it's a good point to make. Like, not everything's going to work for everyone.
No.
But we are so lucky and blessed. And we have access to so many different modalities, especially in that healing space, in the holistic healing space, that if breath work doesn't work for you, great, go and do an ice bath. If an ice bath doesn't work for you, great, go and do a sound healing. Sound healing doesn't work for you, great, let's go and do some yin yoga. Like, there is a plethora of opportunity that we have to regulate our nervous systems. I feel like that's something that 90% of the world hasn't done and can't do. We haven't been taught how to regulate. And then also be able to create capacity within ourselves, as you were saying, with the audit.
I agree, but it's even simplifying it again. So when someone's, in the depth of their derrick, right, you can't see the forest from the trees. So I don't like to use the word dumb it down, but I like to simplify it. And it's just control your controllables. So what do I have control of at the moment? And that was a game changer for me, because I started to control what I consumed. Every New Year's, right, I make this New Year's resolution. I'm not going to drink, or I'm going to eat well. I'm going to go on a diet, right? Because
January 1st.
I would emphasize on only what I consume through my mouth, because I thought that's how I'd get fit and healthy. It's not until when I started controlling my controllables and understanding that was a holistic approach. What I consumed through my eyes was equally important. So what was I looking at now? What was I seeing? I've gone from doom scrolling to going out for a walk and going on adventures. Or reading Jim Rohn. I've gone from seeing bloody my four walls because I was self-isolating to going outside on walks and opening up my mind. And then I started to control what I consumed through my ears. So what was I listening to? And more importantly, who was I listening to? When I was listening to music, when I was in a happy mood, I'd hear the beat. But when I was flat as a tack, I'd listen to the lyrics. Yeah. And I can be bloody a sick person. Anything could resonate with how I was feeling. Yeah. I'd twist everything to resonate with and validate how I was feeling. So then I started to control that. Who am I listening to? Am I surrounding myself with people that are feeding me this negativity, or are they talking about ideas? And once I got top on that, I started controlling those controllables. Far out. Anyone listening, that was a game changer for me. Yeah. And it's so simple. It's so simple, that audit.
I love that. Even those, follow your senses. Check out, what are we saying? Because our words are spells. Even down to scents and smells. When I've had a challenging morning with my children, I'll put some lemon in the essential oils and instantly the mood lifts. There's little things that we can do in every area of our lives. And the one point that I truly, and I post a lot about this, is the average. You are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. So who are you?
Yeah. I want to soar with eagles, but I was bloody, what is it, flopping about with turkeys.
I haven't heard that one, but I love it.
And that's, I'm not knocking my previous circles.
Yeah, of course.
But there will get to a point where you outgrow people, or you need to align with yourself, align yourself with people that are on the same trajectory as you. There comes that point where you have to say, hang on a minute.
Misery loves company.
I've got to do this for me.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I feel like we've covered so much.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you would like to share? Where can listeners find you? Where is all the fun stuff happening for the Derrick program?
On my socials. So Not Today Derrick. That's where a lot of the fun stuff is. But we're running retreats, got some software coming out. Just got obviously my YouTube will pop all the links up. But what I really want to say, I just want to see people just trying to tackle their Derrick and do the opposite. Keep it super simple. Reach out to support, whether it's through me or through a friend. Don't sit in your shit. When we sit in our shit, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to move on. And the windscreen's far bigger than the rear view. So reach out to people, reach out to us. And just tell yourself, not today, Derrick. It's not you, right? Our potential is limitless. Yeah. That quote, how does it go? Got it. Marianne Williamson will come to me. Our fear is not that we are inadequate. Our fear is that we are greater beyond measure, that we are great beyond measure or something like that. We put this we put this lid on our potential and we just get stuck in this Groundhog Day. Have you seen that experiment? There's these, they put these fleas in a jar.
Oh, no, but I've seen the one where they put a spider in a circle.
Yeah, similar, but
Yeah.
they put these fleas in a jar, right? And the fleas, they're able to hop 6 foot or something.
Mm.
And they can hop. But when they put a lid on it, the fleas are hitting they're hitting that ceiling. Once they take the lid off it, they were now only jumping to the height of the lid. It became an imaginary ceiling. So that's what I was saying with my program. It's to help people understand that you're powerful beyond measure.
Mm-hmm.
We have this invisible ceiling, and that person is Derek. I don't know. I might have fluffed around on that one.
That was perfect. No, that was perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Not today, Derek.
Yeah, give us a hug.
Oh.